and around the world. US President Donald Trump said he and Russian President Vladimir Putin made great progress during a meeting in the US state of Alaska addressing the war in Ukraine.
There were many, many points that we agreed on, most of them, I would say, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there, but we've made some headway. So there's no deal until there's a deal.
After the meeting, Trump spoke with several European leaders, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. His remarks came after Putin outlined Russia's national interests and Europe's role in the conflict.
Хочется надеяться, что достигнутое нами понимание позволит приблизиться к той цели и откроет дорогу к миру на Украине. Мы рассчитываем, что в Киеве и европейских столицах вас примут все это в конструктивном ключе и не станут чинить никаких препятствий.
Zelensky posted on social media that he would meet with Trump in Washington on Monday to discuss the details. US President Donald Trump says Chinese President Xi Jinping told him China would not invade Taiwan while Trump remains in office. Trump made the claim in an interview with Fox News ahead of his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin about the Ukraine war. He also said world leaders would not risk major military moves, like invading Taiwan during his presidency. Beijing considers Taiwan its territory and has not ruled out the use of force to bring the country under its control. Trump and Xi reportedly spoke by phone earlier this year. This year marks 80 years since the end of World War II, a turning point that reshaped Taiwan as we know it today. While the country's 400 years of colonization are often in the spotlight, the post-war era brought its own dramatic transformation. To hear more about its history, TaiwanPlus spoke to veteran journalist and author of Ghost Nation, Chris Horton.
So from your observation, what are those most common misunderstandings you found that people out of Taiwan have about the Taiwan Strait conflicts?
Well, I think one of the big kind of misleading tropes that you have in international media today is, in 1949, Taiwan and the mainland split. And, just using that term mainland, it implies that Taiwan completes China. And, historically, that's just never been the case. Taiwan was ignored by China until the very late, until the Qing dynasty. And the Qing dynasty was, it wasn't a Han Chinese dynasty, it was Manchu. So you've really only had 4 years in all of, human history that a China-based government has controlled all of Taiwan. And that was 1945 to 1949. And during that time, you had a major uprising by Taiwanese against Chinese rule in 1947 that was put down with serious violence, with tens of thousands of deaths. So I think it's because people know so little about Taiwan. It's really hard to say like where the biggest misunderstanding is. And hence the Ghost Nation title again. It's this place everybody knows it exists, but nobody really sees it.
So, are those chapters, do you think, the most important that somebody who may be reading Taiwan a lot in the news, but they don't know a lot about Taiwan's history?
Taiwan's been through so much, and it hasn't always been a country. It wasn't even a single unified administrative unit until Japan came, and it took 20 years of war against indigenous Taiwanese to really kind of bring all of Taiwan under control. And so I think, in terms of history, that maybe people, even including Taiwanese people, just for textbook reasons here, people don't know too much about Taiwan. The Japanese period, that's 50 years of colonization, and it was very formative for Taiwan's identity.
When you came to Taiwan like 10 years ago, what's the most surprise thing that you found out in Taiwan that was different from your imagination or expectation?
I would say the Japanese influence. That was something that I found quite deep, and it, even though people were speaking Mandarin here like they were in China, there were, the food was a little bit different. Even, renting an apartment, you talk about the size of the apartment in terms of not square feet or square meters, but in terms of ping. And a ping, if I'm not mistaken, is the size of 2 tatami mats. Yeah. And that kind of blew my mind when I first got here. And you know, baseball is another good example. You know, like I assumed that Americans had introduced baseball kind of during the Cold War, but it was Japanese. And yeah, it's I think the Japanese influence is one of the least appreciated aspects of Taiwan from an international perspective.
That was journalist Chris Horton. You can watch the full interview with him on Zoom In Zoom Out, available on TaiwanPlus.com and YouTube. China has issued a navigation warning for parts of the Yellow Sea as it carries out live fire exercises. The drills are taking place in parts of the southern Yellow Sea off the coast of Yancheng in Jiangsu province. Now, in their second day, the exercises will run through August 23rd. China has banned all vessels from entering the area and advised mariners to stay out to prevent accidents. The drills come after China and Russia held joint maritime drills in the Sea of Japan earlier this month. As China conducts live fire drills, Taiwan's defense ministry has reported increased Chinese military activity near its borders. The defense ministry says it spotted 21 Chinese military aircraft and 7 naval vessels operating near the country the 24 hours up to Saturday morning. 13 of those aircraft entered Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. This area is not Taiwan's airspace, but acts as a defensive buffer zone. Taiwan says it's monitoring the situation and responding accordingly. A forum on whether Taiwan should restart a recently decommissioned nuclear plant sparked heated debates in Taipei Friday.
台湾需要的是什么电呢？需要价格实惠的电，需要高品质稳定的电。台湾更需要的是降低污染、不排碳的电。
The televised public forum discussed reactivating the Ma'anshan plant in southern Taiwan. The plant's second reactor was officially decommissioned in May under Taiwan's nuclear-free homeland policy. Supporters argue nuclear power is vital for Taiwan's global competitiveness and climate goals. Opponents say restarting the plant would unfairly burden nearby residents and must be carefully weighed for cost, public health, and competitiveness.
地球暖化要救地球，好啊，你们去救啊！啊，你们不能为了救地球来伤害我自己的故乡啊！这没有道理啊！这没有道理啊！
A referendum on reactivating the plant will be held on August 23rd. As Taiwan becomes a super-aged society, people are finding ways to keep the growing number of older people engaged after retirement. Aichi looks at one business in southern Taiwan, bridging the gap between old and young local residents.
Retiree Su Huang Chougui works as the manager of this unique shop in Tainan in southern Taiwan, showcasing her cooking skills in every dish she prepares for customers from the local community. She says she enjoys working at the shop, which brings together people from both older and younger generations.
我觉得他这个观念很好，让那个我们这些年纪大的有一个活动的地方、工作的地方。
The business model behind the shop seeks to offer solutions to Taiwan's aging society, building connections between young and old, enabling them to grow businesses in ways that foster harmony within their communities. Founder Lu Zhibang says the road to success wasn't easy, but was worth it in the end.
之前用社造的角度去推，反而很难。可是用这种同才的关系或伙伴的关系去互相影响。 反而是在这当中去得到的一个很棒的收获吧。
The collaboration covers a range of activities, not just food, from weaving classes to musical performances. With less focus on profit, people are able to explore how they want to spend their time, and the founders say the benefits are mutual.
很多人都会觉得说，哦，我们在帮长辈圆梦，其实长辈也在帮我们圆梦，让大家一起去寻找一个高龄化社会之后，我们想要的一个。 好的，在地的社区生活是怎么样？
As Taiwan's population rapidly ages, its self-haired economy is projected to exceed $100 billion in 2025. Initiatives like this one are emerging to keep seniors active and engaged. Howard Chan and Aichi for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has won its second gold medal at the 2025 World Games in Chengdu, China. Skater Liu Chaoxi claimed top spot in the women's inline freestyle slalom finals on Saturday, beating her Chinese opponent Zhu Siyi 2-0. Liu had previously won gold in the inline freestyle skating speed slalom at the 2023 Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. Taiwan's medal tally for the Games now stands at 2 gold, 4 silver, and 4 bronze. A clownfish farm in Taiwan's Changhua County is helping protect the ocean in its own unique way. I visited the facility to find out how. An interesting-looking fellow. This black storm clownfish is not the common and instantly recognizable orange and white kind of clownfish. This designer variety is among the many cultivated by 37-year-old agriculturist Liam Xue.
在我们在做这个人工小丑的这种配对的过程中，会产生出各种不同花纹啊，或是不同体色、不同表现的这种小丑鱼。
This black storm clownfish is one of the most popular varieties on Xue's farm, with over 2,000 of them sold each month to customers in 14 different countries, making up to 25% of his farm's total sales.
很漂亮，很漂亮，很不一样啊。 就是很特别这样子，小丑鱼的这个种类跟图案五花八门了，那已经越来越多种不同的纹路，那消费者就有很多不同的选择，消费者对于这个饲养这个海水鱼啊、小丑鱼的这个兴趣啊，会变得比较好。
Xue began working with clownfish at the age of 20, when he fell in love with the fish after watching the movie Finding Nemo. Inspired by the Disney animated film, Xue created his very own clownfish kingdom, the biggest clownfish farm in Taiwan. Over more than a decade, Xue has bred 35 varieties of clownfish, each of them taking up to 3 years to successfully develop. And here at this farm, he exports around 100,000 of these fish each year to over a dozen countries. Some may struggle with the idea of breeding designer fish in captivity for sale. But Xue says he hopes to use his business for the benefit of clownfish in the wild.
我们为了要能够说去避免大家就是去野外捕捞小丑鱼，然后对珊瑚礁海域造成破坏，其实我们是反向的是鼓励，如果你喜欢养这个小海水鱼，想要养小丑鱼，你可以选择人工小丑鱼。好，那这样子基本上我们又可以满足我们的兴趣，同一时间我们也可以避免我们对我们海洋珊瑚礁生态的这个破坏，算是用我们的方式来保护我们爱的海洋。
Xue does not do business with just anyone, especially not with those who plan to release his fish into the wild. Although his fish could survive there, he's concerned that they might unbalance the ecosystem. Experts have also praised Xue's efforts in protecting wild clownfish.
Because it was so wonderful. First, the organization, the clarity of the organization, how everything is really safe and clean and well designed, and the professionalism behind that, and the diversity of fish they have created by breeding and crossing many lines. Thanks to captive bred clownfish, there is much less clownfish captured in the wild for aquarium trade.
Now, with years of working with clownfish, to Xue, his marine fish are more than just a commodity for sale.
它就好像我们的家人，像我们的朋友一样，所以其实我们也希望它可以过得更好。
Now, with his clownfish kingdom, Xue hopes to further show the world how his expertise and care can help protect the ocean and make a difference in conservation. Devon Tsai and Tiny Chi for TaiwanPlus. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out this giant omelette made with tens of thousands of eggs in Belgium. I'm Tiny Chi. Take care and see you next time.
I'm Tiffany Wong in Kuala Lumpur, and you're watching TaiwanPlus.